I do not understand the point and purpose of this device right here. What's up, y'all? My name is David with RV Family.Life. Lived in my RV for almost 3 years now with my family, my wife Tanya, daughters Kaylin and Kira, and our dog Daisy. We have been traveling the United States searching for nothing, trying to reconnect with family and friends and see all types of new things we've never seen before. Along the way, you have to pick up a lot of different abilities to do things and maintain things, like taking care of your black tanks. Part of taking care of your black tanks is being able to flush them. You can't just pull the lever and flush it all out. You want to add water to it and do it over and over again until you've got a nice clean tank. And you want to try to do that every week if possible. So recently, I have had a device similar to this that has lasted me for 2.5 years. Try not to show you too much disgustingness. This is a used product. But this has a gate on it that I can close it off, and then I can add water to it right here via water hose, and I can twist this to point where I'm going to spray the water, up the tank or down the hose. Well, unfortunately, after 3 years of use, this part, the plastic inside of there, has snapped and broke. So that's out of commission. So I went to Walmart because I had seen this product and I bought it. And here's the first problem where I made the mistake. I didn't pay attention to the fact that there's no gate on the end. So I get home, I hook it up, and I'm ready to roll, ready to flush my tank, and then realize, how's the water going to stop and travel up into the black tank? Now, disclaimer, some people will tell you that you should never, ever add water to that. To that, I say, why did they build in actual flush valves into a lot of these nicer RVs if they don't want you to add water to them? You just have to be wise and make sure that you're tracking how much water you're putting in for how long you go for. And I'll add on to that here shortly too. I forgot to take that piece off to show you, but I have a way to make sure that I don't add too much water. At any rate, I got this device. There's no gate in the end. So I'm like, all right, let's order a brand new gate. So there's the brand new gate. This one's from Valterra. Now, by the way, Camco is who made the one I had, but these I usually, in fact, if you don't have one of these already, just a simple gate valve, every RVer should get this. This should be one of your first upgrades you ever do, because it literally, typically, you just put it right on the end and it adds you an extra gate. So that way, when you take your cap off, nothing comes out. And then if you can get your hose and everything hooked up, and then you can pull the gate open. And if there was any problems up the pipes, this will help you not have the poopsie, spillage onto the ground of stuff that you don't want to spill onto the ground. So I get all of this and I get it all hooked up, which, by the way, I really like this on the newer Valterras. They put a little cotter pin on there to help it keep from coming back out. It's pretty handy. My first ones I had didn't have that, and they've added that recently. So I add this on here. And the next problem I have is that the water is leaking right here between the two. Now, these are all designed to fit together perfectly, but for some reason, the orange end on this doesn't fit snugly enough. And so it's leaking. It's like, that's odd. So this gives me the ability to shut the gate, fill up water, and fill up my black tank. I like to add, 20 to 25 gallons of water after I've dumped it, now to flush it. And just a little bit other backstory. I've got 2 black tanks, and after owning the RV for a year, for some odd reason, I've lost the ability to flush the back black tank, which is our girls' toilet. Not entirely certain why that's happened. I've troubleshot it. I've tried cleaning it. Something is disconnected or having a problem between where you would hook up the water at the front in the wet bay to the black tank. Probably would involve taking down quite a bit of the underbelly to try to troubleshoot where it went wrong. And I just haven't had the time to do that yet, because I already had this. So this just became a quick fix. Throw it on there. I call it back flushing. Usually I add a few extra gallons because it's filling up more of the pipes, not just the black tank. So this thing's worked pretty good. Now, one of the things I noticed when I took my old hose and tried to hook it directly on here, it also leaked. So then I thought, well, maybe the Camco one, which by the way, Camco makes Rhino. Maybe the Camco one stretched out the end a little bit. So I bought a brand new one, connected it directly. It won't leak. It's the only way it doesn't leak. So then I thought, as testing, let's try one other way. This is where I got dumb. I thought, let's just go ahead. This is a brand new cap. I'm gonna put a brand new cap on there. I'm gonna fill water in and see what happens. Can you think with me why that was a dumb decision on my part? Yeah, because once I added water in there, in order to put the hose back on, I have to dump all the water out. Thankfully, I only did about 2 gallons and it was just straight water. It wasn't coming from the black tank, but yeah, what was I thinking? And then on top of that, I add the hose right here, and while I'm adding water, it's leaking here and it's leaking here. Now, I did just notice while I'm filming this that there's no O-ring in there. So this is all open at Walmart. Maybe, perhaps somebody lifted the O-ring out of there. That could explain that part, why that's leaking. But why this is leaking, the only way it doesn't leak is if I hook it up directly like this. That's the only way it does not leak right there. All other options, it leaks. So when it's hooked up like this and there's no gate to stop the water, and you turn this on and you run water through it, the water will go a little ways. That's weird. I'm looking inside of there and I'm not seeing it move. Okay. The water would shoot a little ways up the pipe, but then for the most part, all that water is just going to run down the hose. So it's not going to fill the black tank to 20 something gallons to properly flush it like I want to. So I have now wasted $20-ish plus a new hose. Getting a new hose isn't the worst thing in the world, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I need another one of these. And I'm gonna be able to find that on Amazon because I haven't been seeing it anywhere else. Probably, I think it was about $40. It's complete with the gate, complete with the connection, and being able to add the hose. Like I said, it lasted me about 3 years, so I guess putting down about another $40 to get another 3 or so years out of it. The other thing I wanted to show you is a little add-on that you connect to your hose. I went for quite a while with this. I would just time it out. I would just add like 8 minutes of water. I got this little device that tells you exactly how much water passed through your hose, so you know how much. And then I'm like, wow, 8 minutes of water was only like 12 gallons of water being added. So now that I've got that device on there, I can actually say, okay, I get to about 24 gallons, 25 gallons, shut it off, and then I flush it. And I usually repeat that a couple of times. In the past, I may have done it a few too many times. I have actually set off an alarm for a septic tank because I was flushing until I was happy and the water was perfectly clear. Just be careful where you're at. If you're at a park that's got a sewer hookup, that may actually be a better situation for you. But I just wanted to put this out here real quick. This all has just happened. It's fresh. I'm passionate about it. I wanted to talk about it. So I recommend the Camco Professional Strength Reverse Flush Valve Dual Flush Pro. Yeah, I know it's dirty. It's well used. I'll be washing my hands here immediately after touching all of this stuff. But I wanted to share this with you guys. Make sure, like I said, if you're new to RVing, at the very least, for about, we'll say $26, get this, add it to the end, make it so that you don't have that accidental issue, because sometimes, I've been through it already, sometimes the inside of the gate, so I keep ducking down to drop this stuff and I don't want to stop the camera. One of my first black tank issues was something got stuck in that gate and it could never properly close. So there was fluid ready to leak out every time that I would take the cap off. And until I fixed what was in there by replacing the entire gate further inside, this is much more involved work, every time I took the cap off, I got nasty colored fluids immediately falling onto the ground. So by adding this to the end, I was able to stop that. And then once I was able to take the time to take apart the underbelly and fix the actual problem, this is just an insurance plan. right? $26 helps you have a better situation. All right, that's it. Enough of this stinky talk. Remember that life happens, even poopsies, where you make a little spill on the ground. Don't let that stop you from getting out and exploring this country. Stay fresh, cheese bags.